And as I promised in my part 1 video of the dosa batter, this is the part 2 of the dosa batter and coconut chutney video. So my dosa batter has started fermented properly, and we're going to make some dosas for breakfast. Now I would also like to introduce to you the way I cook the masala that goes with the dosa, that is the potato masala. Let me introduce you to the ingredients. Here I have boiled around 8 or 9 medium-sized potatoes to 2 whistles with some salt. But as I always tell, it should not be soggy. It should be just 1 or 2 whistles. I have chopped down around 3 medium-sized onions and into small pieces chopped down. Have some around 20 pods of garlic chopped down. The chili according to the amount of hotness that you want in your dish, and for garnish I have used here a bunch of coriander or dhania patta. I'll also be using some for the tempering. I'll also be using some chana dal, around 1.5 tablespoon of chana dal, 1.5 tablespoons of urad dal, some leaves of dry curry patta. But it's always good if you can use the curry patta in the natural form. That means it's very fresh curry patta. But since we do not always get it, so I keep it ready, dried out, and some mustard seeds. I'll also be using some turmeric, some haldi, and some red chili powder, Kashmiri red chili powder, and all the cooking will be done in pure ghee. So let us come and start cooking. So while I was introducing the ingredients to you, I had already put the karai on flame, and then we'll use some bit of olive oil, and the entire cooking is actually done in pure ghee, because pure ghee has a distinct flavor and a sense and a flavor of temptation, if I can say that. So that's done. Almost 2 tablespoons of pure ghee. Now I'll introduce the tempering there. First I'll splutter in some of the mustard seeds, but you have to be careful. It is always better to put the mustard seeds when it is not very hot, because they're going to splutter off, and all the other temperings that I've talked about. And while that's cooking, I'll not let it burn. We'll be very careful that I shouldn't burn it. Then I introduced the garlic pods, garlic chopped, right? And the garlic is smelled there in the air. Okay, that's doing. We then introduce the onions, and the chili. We'll keep the coriander for the end, because it's only for the season later. So I'll cook it. I'll not burn it. I'll not golden fry it. I'll just cook it till there's a beautiful, beautiful polished color on the onions. Glaze there, caramelizing. Just then I'll put in some turmeric with a beautiful dash of yellow. There are some people who do not like much turmeric in their food. So you can always decide how much turmeric you want in your food. Of course, it will not change the flavor of the food. It's just a color that will change. I think that's what's important about Indian cooking, because we have a splash of colors in our food, which makes it more interesting. I'll also now use some red chili, Kashmiri red chili powder. Okay, so I guess after stirring in for almost, everything is done in high heat however. So after stirring in for around 2-3 minutes, I'll introduce the boiled potatoes. See how easy it is. So people who are working and are very in a hurry in the morning can always get a few things done, like the potatoes boiled and kept aside in the refrigerator. So morning you just have to do the tempering and it's done. So but I need to really, check for the salt. Of course I need to remember that some salt had already been used when I had boiled it, but since the water is gone, I guess the salt will also be gone. And we'll just break down a few pieces of the potatoes, because that's how we normally use it in the dosa. And once we make the dosa, we want this masala inside the dosa. So all we can do is that perhaps try to break it a bit. Okay, so I have been constantly stirring the potatoes on high flame, and also now reduced it a bit for around 4 or 5 minutes, and we see the potatoes sticking on to the sides of the karai, and then we'll try to mash in a bit. The entire thing should not be mashed, otherwise it will be like mashed potatoes. We do not like mashed potatoes inside the dosa. So we'll just a little try to mash it so that it's half done. It's half mashed, half cubed. Right? So then see the way it's sticking onto the sides. It's important to stick onto the sides, because I guess the more you fry, the more it will stick onto your karai, and the more tastier it will be, because there will be that particular crunch that you want in your food or the masala. So I'll just let it be there for some time and then check in for the salt. Now we will just check in for the salt, to check out for the salt there, because the salt is everything that will, it's the most important element in the food. We need some salt. I haven't added any extra salt, in fact. We will need some salt, but the taste of ghee when it touches your tongue is wonderful. Right? People say nowadays this is a new trend that we need to give up all the refined oils and go back to our traditional use of the ghee, but just the cause of fatness. That's the one worry. Excuse me. So it's almost done, and then we'll put in the coriander leaves and let it be there on slow flame for some time. Okay. Now it has started sticking onto the sides of the pan, and it's ready. The salt has been tasted and checked. So this is ready to be served with a crispy dosa. Just put off the flame and take it out in a bowl. If you want to avoid the coriander, there are some people who do not like the taste of coriander, but I love it, so I use it. As I say, cooking is all personalized. The way you like it, you have it. Okay, so that's done. My bowl ready for the dosa. So now what I'll do is that we'll just check whether the fermentation has happened for the dosa batter that we put aside yesterday overnight, right? So we'll just check. I just get back, and yes, the dosa batter is ready to be served. We see a frothy covering on the top, and if you smell it, you get that smell of fermentation, which tells you you need to start eating it. So I've taken the amount of batter that I need for my use today, and I will use some salt. I'll use the amount of salt accordingly. Salt that's needed, and some soda bicarb or cooking soda. In the meantime, I've already put the non-stick dosa tawa on flame. Just add some water to get the desired consistency. Okay, I think this consistency is all right for the dosa. Just mix it well. And while the dosa tawa is heating up, I'll just add some oil here. Olive oil or any oil that you use at home, and spread the oil all around. Spread the oil all around, and then put it under the tap. Wash it off. It's very important to have the dosa a little hot and a little cold. With the water that we put in, it's colder. Here we have a ladle. You just need to turn around. Just let it spread so that it gets thinner, and let it heat up and cook itself. When we see the bubbles appearing, then we know it's the perfect batter that's been used for the dosa. Now we put in some oil all around, and you can also use a bit of ghee, because ghee will give you that perfect flavor and taste. Some bit of ghee that we use. You can always use olive oil and olive oil and any other form of refined oil. But when you talk about desi ghee, it has a distinct flavor which has its own sense of richness. Turn it over, flip it over. You see, it's getting brown and golden, and here we have thinner sides, but it's always better to have the thinner, the crispier. So we'll let it be there for around 3-4 minutes on slow flame now. So here we have, this has been heating up for some time now, and we see, just turn it over. Yes, it's done. Okay, so we just dish it out. Some people give the masala here on the plates, on the tawa itself, but in my family they like to have it separately. So we dish it out like this, and then we'll also add the masala in the sides. So here is, I'll just close it. So here is your platter, crispy masala dosa, served with aloo bhaji in the Assamese style, you can say. So after making the first dosa, or in fact after every dosa, we need to wash it, or at least get it cool down. The dosa tawa needs to cool down before the next dosa is spread out. So when we talk about watching how people make dosas in the hotels and roadside dhabas, we see them spluttering it with water. What I've done is that I've just taken it under the tap, rinsed it off, and here you have the perfect dosa. So we are again increasing the heat and keeping it so the bubbles are appearing. So here we have the dosa perfectly coming up. Then we add in some desi ghee, and as I told you, it's optional. You can always use even the oil there, but the sides need to come up so that you can flip it over. So just, okay, if it's done, it'll take some more time before we can flip it over. The sides have come out beautiful because of the use of oil there. So once it gets crispier, then we can flip it over, because without breaking it. Okay, So we'll flip it over. See, here we have the golden sides there. If you have if you have kids like mine at home, they will always want to have it something non-vegetarian about it. So what we do is that, what I normally do is that I break down an egg, flip it over again, spread some egg wash, or in fact egg in between. Alright, just enough to spread onto the sides so we get egg in every bite. Increase the flame a bit and put in some mozzarella cheese on top. Here we have shredded mozzarella cheese on top. Okay, spread it out a bit and flip it over and let it be there for some time till the egg is done. So we have the egg masala, egg dosa ready, and we have the masala in the side. So this is another option you can have. You can dish it out for your child. And so I have served before you masala dosa, normal style masala dosa with the egg and cheese. And I hope you enjoy my recipe. Do try it out, and if you like, please press the button and share and subscribe. Thank you.